Bright QT. Every student matters.
Under this origin of views of the origin of human beings, we are coming to discuss about that origin of man. Human beings belong to the species called mammals. They also belong to the class called primates. So this is the class which is from which the human beings belongs is known as primates. So a primate is a one of the groups of mammals which is the most intelligent and highly developed. It includes human beings, monkeys and apes. They have body hair, a relatively longer period of infant development, mammary glands, different types of teeth, and the ability to maintain a constant temperature. So these are the things which is the special features of the primates. About 2.4 million years ago, there emerged a subgroup among the primates. They were called hominoids. They were a subgroup which has been formed in about 2.4 million years ago. This includes apes. The scientists are of the view that the earliest human being appeared on the earth about 2 million years ago, and they had many similarities with apes and gorillas. So similarities of the human is with apes and gorilla. The head of the early man was very small and is stooped backward. Just it was fixed like this, and they have been fixed at the backward direction. Then his body was covered with thick hair. The throughout the body, the hairs are there, just like you can go to the zoo and you can get the view of a gorilla or an ape. The same way it was there in 2.4 million years ago. So the human body was covered with thick hair or whatever it is compared with that. He could not speak but could produce intelligible sound which can be understood, can be rectified. He was a wanderer and went from place to place in search of food because that they were not the food producers, they were the food gatherers. They ate raw meat, wild fruits, and roots. He did not know the use of fire and lived the life of a wild animal. Just like as the wild animal, the life of the human were, early humans were also in the same manner. He did not know the use of fire. In the beginning, he walked on four legs, quadruped, all the four legs, like animal. But with the passage of time, he learned to stand erect using his hands or legs. Once they have started standing erect, then they came to know about the use of the hands. Many scientists, like Michael Behe, hold that Darwin has ignored many factors which must be operating in the evolutionary process. Now, this is the Michael Behe. He is telling that the Charles Darwin has ignored many of the factors, which is very important for that the evolution system or for the development of the human being. It is not clear how all plants and animals are developed from very simple forms over a very long period of time. It is not very clear about that the development of the plants and the species, how they are evolved. What were how they were in the basic forms. It has not been clarified. So there was bitter opposition in certain quarters, particularly amongst the church leaders to Darwin's theory. So in many of the matters, opposition was done, particularly amongst the church leaders. They have started criticizing, challenging the theory given by Darwin. And this is understandable because Darwin denied God as the creator of the universe. So this is the only reason behind the controversy between the church leader and the Darwin's policy. Because Darwin is not means accepting about that the creation of the universe is by the God. Darwin seemed to dethrone humankind from the central place of the tenets of Christianity. So now this is the religion which came in between the theory, the philosophy, the scientific, logical reasoning, and about that, the creation of the God, involvement of the religion, involvement of the leaders, religious leaders. Despite some objections against the theory of Darwin, objections has been put up by some of the scientists as well as the religious leaders of the church, there is a wide acceptance of the idea based on Darwin's finding that the best way to study all things science, government, sports, the family, and so on is to find out how they have developed or evolved. Now, what it says that despite some objections which were put up by some of the scientists as well as by the religious leader, there is a wide acceptance of the idea based on Darwin's finding. What are that? The best way to study all things like science, like government, sports, the family, and so on. All such things. Right from the science, right for the government, right from the sports, the family, about the concept of the family, everything is developed and how it has evolved. The people, they prefer to study the theory given by Darwin. So Darwinism profound impact upon Western society. The basic reason is that it emphasizes on the survival of the fittest. So what is the emphasis given by Darwin? Survival of the fittest. This is the theory. What he has suggested, just in the previous slide, we have a study about that, the adaptation. To adapt, to accept. This is the not your that the strong body, not your intelligence. Nothing will make you survive. But if you adapt the changes, you accept the changes, adaptation, you can survive easily. So he emphasizes, he has put up his reason. The basic reason is that the emphasizes on the survival of the fittest and is strong for survival, which fitted admirably with the temper of the time, with the change in the time. And the human can survive easily with the evolution, with the change, with the development. Early societies. Now coming to focus on that, the African Europe till 15,000 BC, before Common Era, BCE. African origin of hominid or near hominid. This is about that. Hominid or the near hominid means they are related. The first humans appeared in Mrika about 2 million years ago. It is the name of a place in Africa. But some historians think that Homo sapiens did not evolve solely in Mrika, but simultaneously in Mrika, Europe, and North and Southeast Asia. This is about that Mrika is Miss Africa. So some of the scientists, they are telling that it is not only that Mrika, but other continents are also there, which are Europe, North and Southeast Asia. This was the beginning of the Stone Age and the dawn of early man. Means that this is now the early man's, the concept is now going to be settled down, and with that the what we can say that the other word we can use that the settled life started. So this period time or this period of time is known as Stone Age because these early men created tools of stone. Because of that, the creation of the tools with the help of the stone, so this period is now known as Stone Age. So some of the factors now which is available to the archaeologist, which is available to the historians to tell us about that, how these men, they have started using these different tools made up of the stones. So it is written over here about that, the dawn of the early man. The sunset. Dawn means what? The sunset of the early man, and gradually the development, the evolution started of the settled life. Very important it is about that, the hominids and hominoids. The very simple that the only O is different. O is missing here and O is here. So this is only the difference between the hominids and hominoids. So the hominids evolved from hominoids and share certain common features. So from where these are evolved? They are evolved from here. So this is about that, the arrow. They are evolved from here. But they also have major differences as well. As these hominids are evolved from the hominoids, but they have certain differences also. So hominids had a smaller brain compared to hominids. They were quadrupeds, walking on all fours, but with flexible forelimbs. The first two, what we are calling it hand, they are flexible. Hominids, by contrast, had an upright posture and bipedal. Now they have they evolved from here to here. So what happened? Now they have the upright posture. They can stand straight. And bipedal locomotion, walking on 2 feet. There were also marked differences in hands, which enable the making and use of tools. As now they are not walking on the four legs, now they have the upright structure, or they can straight, upright, straight, and bipedal locomotion is there. Now the 2 legs are only used to move. So the use of as the flexibility is there in the 4 limbs, so now they have started using it in making of the tools. Hominoids are different from monkeys. They have a larger body and do not have a tail. So this is the difference. Besides, the hominoids have a larger period of infant development and dependency. The remains of the early humans have been classified into different species and have differences in bone structures. The most famous example of evidence is supporting this era is the skeleton, which is Lucy, found in Ethiopia. This is in African continent. Where it is? In the American continent, the same African continent, where evidence dates her life at about 3 million years ago. So this is about the fact of the hominoids. Hominids and hominoids. So in the nutshell, what it says that the hominids are different from monkeys in a number of ways. They have a larger body and do not have a tail. Besides, there is a longer period of infant development and dependency amongst hominoids. 4 legs, front legs capacity to bend. The capacity of the front legs is they can bend easily with the help of the first 2 hands. Hominids originated from hominoids. This is the evolution. Evolved from here. Larger than the hominoids. Erect body, 2 legs, bipedal locomotion, different structure of hands, free hands used for tool making and other purposes. So this is about the hominids. In a tabular form also, the same thing is given over here. Hominoids and hominids, smaller brain, larger body, longer period of infant development and dependency, do not have a tail, quadrupeds. Upright posture, bipedal locomotion, large brain, specialization of hand. So this is all the important things given in a tabular form. These are the stone tools which has been used by the early men. Evolution of human, the story of human evolution. This is about that enormously long and somewhat complicated. There are also many unanswered questions are also there. So this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. This way it is that human has evolved. This is the African origin of hominid, near hominid. This is Stone Age we have already discussed. Now coming to discuss about Australopithecus. A bit difficult word is there because they are not simply that the English term, but in their language or in the scientific language it is written like that. Australopithecus. What does this word mean? So Latin word austral meaning southern, and it's a Greek word pithecus which means ape. So they retain many features of apes. They have smaller brain size, heavier jaws, and larger teeth. Fossils discovered from Olduvai Gorge in East Africa 5.6 million years ago. Homo is a Latin word which means man. They have larger brain jaws with a reduced outward protrusion and smaller teeth, and this is in 2.5 million years ago. This is 5.6 million years ago, and this is 2.5 million years ago. Olduvai Gorge, the discovery of Australopithecus. This is the skull structure. This was the first discovered in the early 20th century by a German butterfly collector. Professionally, what he was? To collect the butterfly. However, Olduvai has come to identified with Mary and Louis Leakey, who worked here for over 40 years. They were working inside the cave. It was Mary Leakey who directed archaeological excavations at Olduvai and Laetoli. So both these excavations were taking place under the guidance of this Mary Leakey, and when he has directed the archaeological excavations at Olduvai Gorge and the Laetoli. This is Australopithecus, the first ape. Man was known as Australopithecus, southern ape, simply. They were found in East America. East America means East Africa, present day Africa. They had basic traits of humans. They could stand up, but the basic physical difference between Australopithecus and apes were their hands. Both the upright structure is there. They can stand straight, erect, but they have their differences in the structure of their hands, the forelimbs. The subspecies of Australopithecus and apes were, this is the Gigantropus, and they are known to have used tools. This Gigantropus, they were means the having skill to use the tools. They lived like animals. They were also living in naked forms. They ate berries, nuts, roots, insects, and worms. The fossils of Australopithecus were first discovered in the early 20th century by a German butterfly collector named Olduvai George in 1959. This is the year it has been given. Then it comes about Homo. It's a Latin word which means man. Although there were women as well as scientists distinguished among several types of Homo. The name assigned to these species are derived from what are regarded as the typical characteristics. So fossils are classified. In the previous slide also we have just seen that, gone through about the classifications and the categorization done by the scientist. Homo habilis, they are the tool maker. Homo erectus, upright man. And the third one is the Homo sapiens, wise man. And this is the thin tank man. This is the means that they have the means ability to think. So this is about that, the wise and the Homo sapiens. The types of Homo: Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo heidelbergensis, Homo neanderthalensis, and the Homo sapiens. These are the types of the Homos. There are 5 types of Homos. Features of Homo, how they are different from any other animals: big brain, small scale projected front jaw, small teeth, lived in ground, big brain, intelligence, small teeth and jaw, which means that the food habits affected their food habits. Ground life means upright walking. So now the human can stand straight on the 2 legs. This is the skulls of the different categorization of the human. So first one is belongs to ape. This is of ape. Second species is belong to Australopithecus. This is the Australopithecus. Third is Homo erectus. Erectus means that the literally upright man. And the last is the Homo sapiens, the wise and the thinking man. Homo habilis, which is also known as handyman, men did not have strong claws to help them fight. They do not have the small, means that the very strong claws like the other animals. They could not overpower sharp-toothed tigers or cave lions. So this way, how they have the means a bit weak structure in comparison to some of the wild animals. Man had to get smart to survive. Homo habilis men, who existed between 2.4 million years ago and 1.5 million years ago, are credited with creating stone tools. This is this period of the human, they are just known as for the stone tool makers to help live more comfortably. Why they have started making stone tools? To live more comfortably and to better protect themselves against many meat-eating animals of the time. Homo habilis were taller than their ancestors. Whatever it is compared with that, the ape or the monkeys, gorillas. But this time, this Homo habilis, they are a little bit taller than in comparison to their ancestors and followed food sources and set up camps as needed and sheltered under cliffs whenever it is possible. So they have little bit now they have changed from their forefathers. Although this group made stone tools and weapons, these tools were still very crude. Their main diet was probably wild fruits, roots, nuts, and vegetables. Small groups banded together for protection and efficiency. The size of the group depended upon the availability of food. Small group were not entertained. They always try to be in a larger group for their the security point of view. And the size of group was depending upon that the how much food is available. Next, it comes about Homo erectus, which means that upright man. 1,60,000 to 3 lakh BC. These early men learned to make fire. This is the most important achievement of this upright man, Homo erectus, discovery of fire. They traveled over land bridges from Africa and began to populate the world about 1 million years ago. Now they kept on moving from one place to another and to give their population throughout the world. Homo erectus man knew how to make fire. This discovery changed man's life dramatically. First, as man had already discovered that most animals were afraid of fire. Now they also have developed this concept. These animals, wild animals, they are afraid of fire. Thus, a big campfire fire gave protection to the group of tribes. So the group of the people, group of this the primitive people or the nomadic people or the early people, whenever they are in a group to how to protect themselves, they use the fire to give the protection to that tribal group. Secondly, if their fire went out, they could relight it. If suppose any of the causes were there, if it is just went out or it is off, then again it can be relighted. Third point, it is given about that they could choose the place where they like to camp. Now the choice options are also there. They can have to select a place where they can have to live. Control of fire made setting into cold regions possible. This is only and only with the discovery of fire. Even in the cold region also now they are comfortably living over there, as they could now count on fire to provide them with warmth. Fourth point is that it changed the way they prepared food. They began to cook their food consistently. Food cooked on fire was more secure and disease much softer to eat. Secure from, this is now the cooked food. Now it gives them the security from the disease. And they are much softer to eat also. Next point is, thanks to their fire making skills, a nightly campfire became possible as a routine to protect themselves from the wild animals or to get the warmth. Besides providing comfort and safety, the campfire became a social gathering place. Now this become a social gathering and entertainment place also. Men would now collect around the fire each night and share stories of their days, hunting activities, to laugh and to relax. So this way, the discovery of fire helped the human to entertain themselves, to relax themselves. Then one box is given over here about the hunting. What is this? What does this hunting means when it has been started? So hunting probably began about 5 lakh years ago. the earliest clear evidence of the deliberate planned hunting, and this is planned hunting and the killing of animals. This is killing of animals, of large animals, come from two sides. Killing of large animals which comes from two sides. They are Boxgrove in England, and the next it is given about that the this is Koningen in Germany. It's as actually it's a German word, can be pronounced the way one can feel comfortable. So Boxgrove in England and the Skoringen in Germany 4 lakh years ago, discovery of fish bones at different sites indicates that fishing was also important for the early human. So this is the information about the hunting by the early humans. Next point, it comes about that Homo sapien, wise man, thinking man. During this period, some of the species of men were Homo heidelbergensis, that is 5 lakh to 3 lakh years ago. Homo neanderthalensis, that is 3 lakhs to 30,000 BC. Homo sapiens 5 lakh 30,000 BC to present day. So first of all, coming to discuss about this, the Homo heidelbergensis. So what does it says? This was probably the common ancestor of both Neanderthal and the modern humans. So it is said about that, the Homo heidelbergensis. The fossils of this period show that these early men had skeletons, skeleton shaped like our today. Whatever there, the skeleton of the has been found is very much similar to that today's human. Homo sapiens skulls grew more forward than those of Homo erectus man, which left more room for the brain to develop. These early men were hunters and gatherers. They made stone tools, needles and bone, fish hook. They sewed clothes from animal skins with threads made from other parts of the animals. Even though the threads are also been made from the different body parts of the animals. They made warm boots also. So to move easily in the cold weather season. Homo neanderthal. One of the earliest species of early man during this period was Homo neanderthal. This means, do not forget this, this means man. The name is derived from the name of the valley Neanderthal, in which the first skeleton remains were found. They were different from other species of early men. So how they have, first of all, they found this, excavate the site, they found the evidences from there. After that, they start depicting it from which and how they are similar to that, the other human, like the other animals. How these were different from the other species of early men? They were much taller and stronger. This Neanderthal human, the Homo neanderthal, were much stronger and taller than in comparison to other species, other homos. They seem to be very advanced for their time. They were marvelous hunters. They often used caves for their homes. Now the concept of the shelter is been developed. Cave is been used by the Neanderthal homos to stay there, to live there. They had mastered the art of fire making and probably cooked their food as a routine work. This is said that the probably it is been used. They use the fire for the cooking of their food. They buried their dead with some ceremony. After that, the death, they do the ceremony, they perform the ceremony for the burying of the dead. Discoveries of Neanderthal grave sites indicate that they decorated their bodies with paint. Now the painting is also been used by them. The dead bodies are being decorated. They were the first to think about that, about the possibility of life after death. This is also the achievement of Neanderthal. They have started thinking about that, the life is after death also. Homo sapiens, Cro-Magnon, and moderns. Now coming to this topic about that, what they are actually telling us about that, who were the Cro-Magnons and the moderns. Neanderthal disappeared from different areas at different times. So there is no specific time period is mentioned that when they actually disappeared. For instance, they became extinct in Europe in 12,000 BC, but in Siberia only around 2000 BC. The main cause seems to be shift in climate rather than hunting by humans. So this is the reason put up behind that, their extinction and their disappearance is the climatic change. They did not believe in that, the hunting by different humans. By this time, men had become very capable hunters and gatherers. Now they have developed their capabilities. They had scattered all over the world. The remains of these early people in Europe, Asia, America, and other parts of the world have been discovered by the scientists. Now, in different continents, the scientists, with the regular search, they found the sites in different parts of the world. The life of these early men was very harsh, but they had plenty of food and warm shelter. Many of these early men lived longer. The Homo sapiens living in Europe were called Cro-Magnons. So I think so this meaning is been clear now. What are Cro-Magnons? The Homo sapiens living in Europe. Homo sapiens are known as Cro-Magnon. Places of origin of modern humans. So what are the places of origin? The earliest evidence of the origin of Homo sapiens has been found in different parts of Africa. But there is a controversy among the scholars about the center of human origin. Controversy is also there between the archaeologists, between the historians, between the scientists. Two totally divergent views have been expounded. One advocates the regional continuity model with multiple regions of origin. They are not considering that there is only one reason from where the human has originated. The others, the group of the people, they are telling about that the replacement model of the human with a single origin in Africa. So this way the controversy is there, the different opinions are there. Let's see that what they are telling about that, the regional continuity and the replacement model. Two main theories for the origin of the modern humans, replacement model and the regional continuity model. Replacement model, single region origin. This is the theory given for the replacement model. Humans originated in Africa. According to this, replacement means single origin. What it says, the single origin. And where is the single origin? It is in Africa. Archaic humans were replaced by modern humans. Genetic and anatomical homogeneity support this view. Similarity is due to origin from a single region. The earliest fossils of modern humans, which is from Homo in utopia, and this is support this view. So about that, this the replacement model, which the group of the people like the scientists, archaeologists, historians, scientists, they stuck with that the single region origin. And according to this view, humans originated in Africa. Only one continent is been considered. Genetic and anatomically homogeneity support this view. The genetic and anatomy department of homogeneity, they are giving their full support with this the origin. But similarity is due to origin from a single region. Why the similarity has been observed? Because of that the origin is a single region. The earliest fossils of modern humans, where it has been found? It is in Ethiopia. Omo is the name of a place in Ethiopia which support this view about the replacement models. View is been supported by the Omo in Ethiopia. Then it comes those who suggest replacement model argue that enormous similarities amongst modern humans is due to their descent from a population that originated in a single region, which is Africa. The argument is there for the replacement model. As they originated from a single region, Africa, so there is a enormous similarity among the modern humans. Modern humans, why they are similar? Because of that, their origin place is the same. And the place is mentioned in Africa. It is the evidence of the earliest fossils of modern humans from Homo in Ethiopia also supports the replacement model. Scholars hold this view, suggest that the physical differences observed today among modern humans are the result of adaptation. Now the scholars, how they are advocating or suggesting their ideas, that the physical difference is been observed today among modern humans. If we compare it from the ancient one and in the present human, there is a differences. But why? What is the reason behind it? What is the result of this? The differentiation is of adaptation. This word is very important in this chapter, adaptation. Over a span of thousands of years, by populations, adaptation by population who migrated to the particular regions where they finally settled down. So the migration of people from one place to another with this view, with this motive for their final settlement. Next is about regional continuity model. Just now we have discussed replacement, continuity model. Now the regional continuity model. Replacement model and the regional continuity model. So what it comes in the regional continuity model? Humans evolved simultaneously in different parts of the world from local archaic humans. So what it says that about the human evolution? It evolved in different parts of the world from the local archaic humans. There is regional difference in the features of modern humans. These similarities are due to differences between Homo heidelbergensis and the Homo neanderthals. So why these dissimilarities are there? Due to the difference between the Homo heidelbergensis and the Homo neanderthal. This is the reason behind it. Regional continuity model. According to this model, the Homo sapiens in different regions gradually evolved at different rates into different modern humans. And hence the variation in the first appearance of modern humans in different parts of the world. The next point, it says that the argument is based on the regional differences in the features of present day humans. So this is the difference, this is the criteria, this is the reason behind it, how these the differences are been found, how these differences have been observed. Coming to some of these topics, by going with that, the recap session with the exercise questions. Who were primates? When did they come into existence? So the answer is primates were a subgroup of a large group of mammals, that is monkeys, apes, and humans. Next question is, when did they came into existence? The primates 3.6 MYA means that the 3.6 million years ago. Write any two evidences to show that hominids are originate in Africa. Number one, African monkeys are closely related to hominids. African monkeys are closely related to hominids, and they are removing their earlier removing has been traced from the Eastern Africa. Next is, what is meant by Australopithecus? So Austral is a Latin word which means southern, and Pithecus is a Greek word which means apes. So this word means Southern apes.